Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for flying with us here on Clearcoat Confessions. On our final approach, please make sure your seat backs and trays are in their upright and locked positions, and any carry-on bags are stored on the floor beneath you. We should be on the ground shortly.
Here at Clearcoat Confessions, we're getting ready to light up the internet airwaves like a redneck booze and bombs 4th of July party. So with that in mind, we highly recommend you place all breakable items in a safe and secure location, and kindly remove any sharp objects from the premises. Because once this thing starts, there's no holding it back. Here we go! Let's throw the switch and let her rip, boys!
Let it rip. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Clearcoat Confessions number 8, May 28th, 2026. Here we go. You should have taken your seat and strapped in a little earlier there, Ricardo.
I apologize. Had to go get a charger.
Okay. All right. And he's not prepared. I'll make a note of that.
My water bottle's empty. I'm not prepared either.
Oh, Tomo. I forgot to download.
Water bottle.
You forgot the what?
I forgot to download that one sound effect. I'll make a note of it and get it. Okay. All right. So
that's not cool.
Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah. So welcome, everyone. We're going to get rolling here. We've got a couple things we want to talk about tonight. And I will send it over to Dave here in a second. We're going to try a few different things with the cameras. Dama will set up some different camera angles. And we'll see how that works. Yeah. We'll see how everything works with, what was set up over the weekend.
Sure.
Last weekend that was. We'll rock that for a little bit. So with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to Dave. If you have questions, put a QQQ in front of them. At the halfway point, we've got a few water beading things to show you, and let's roll, Dave.
All right, guys, today's first subject, and I'm going to keep it a little bit more vague than we probably thought, but we're going to talk about trolls today. We probably have a few in the chat right now for all we know, but we're going to start off with, and this has probably been in our little chat discussions that we've been doing during the week, so that's what kind of sparked it. We're going to probably mention, some of the things that they do and how they affect our communities, as well as our some of the people that we watch. So we're going to probably be mentioning the fake chemist is one subject we might get into. The SDS, people, or the people that bash products without even using them. Let's see here. What else do some of the trolls? Some people just get in the chat just to start a fight with a fair weather fan, or even a true blue loyal customer of whatever product we're into. So that's pretty much what we're going to start in today. Does anyone have anything that they want to start off with on this subject? Anyone get triggered just by the sound of troll?
I can go first.
I know Jeff was going to be the first one.
I have the same person blocked 7 times.
What?
He's making new accounts, and he keeps, and I like, so the previous names: Hugh Janus, Dixon Moorhead, Richard Cox, Richard Long, Dixon Hermouth, Yanni Obakirk, Richard B. Long. And so he creates like these new accounts and tries to say things that I said in the past, but use them against me. So
Jeff, you don't have a troll, you have a stalker.
But I'll give you an example. A year ago, I tested the ShineMade EB212, and I was like, yeah, it's cool, but it's kind of a clone of the Merca, and I prefer the originator, not the duplicator, whatever. Well, then I'm using an ADS drift foam cannon in one of my videos, and he's like, well, I thought you don't like the duplicator, you only like, what I mean? Come on, man. No, I'm using it because it's cheap and it works well, and a lot of people are probably using it. So that kind of stuff drives me nuts when they ask these leading questions. I get a Porsche. Hey, you really like vintage cars, don't you? Well, like, I don't really think of it as vintage, but okay, I guess I appreciate that. Just like these little slights, these little digs. That's what I constantly get from this guy. So,
How long has that been going on?
I mean, I've had the channel for 5 years, so probably 4. And what I do is there's a button that says hide from this channel, so it still lets them comment, but they just don't get interactions anymore. And it takes a while to realize they're hidden from the channel and make a new account. So,
how long have you known Adamo?
2 years.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Have Adamo and your stalker ever commented on the same video at the same time?
Have we ever been in the same room?
I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I get.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing that chaps my ass mainly about trolls, because I'm not a content creator except for what we're doing here, but the thing that chaps me is like, I mean, I don't mind them voicing their opinion, but the ones that are self-righteous and think that they're doing a service for the community, that's really what pisses me off. Like, the ones that, no matter what you tell them, they think they got the answers to everything. And it's like, dude, where's your chemistry friggin' degree that you can tell me with, surefire that you know what you're talking about? Like, well, I'm not gonna mention any names, but there's a guy on the internet that, said that Eddie's like nemesis and Pan's first iteration of the Rinseless was not real Rinselesses. They were ionic rather than non-ionic, so they had to be rinsed off basically. So
yeah, he was saying it's car soap, right?
Right, and he based that all off an SDS. Now, I used to write SDSs for one of the tire companies I used to work for, and those are like basically pencil whipped chemical sheets that we had to submit to the government just to make sure that there's nothing dangerous for the employees or for the consumer that they need to know about. That's pretty much it. Anything that may cause skin irritations or explosions or whatever. So there's no trade secrets in them. There's no like ingredient list on there. So they're trying to decipher something that makes no freaking sense to anyone but, if you got a couple case chemicals that are on a list, and they decide that is the be all end all of that chemical. Come at me, bro. Who wants to say something else about that makes sense to anybody else? I don't know.
Well,
I feel like you're honey dicking us. You should drop some names.
Mm-hmm. No names. No names. We're good.
Oh, dude, if you don't know who it is, then where are you at?
He knows. Yeah,
that's my boy.
Can you guys hear me?
I think that leads me to kind of what triggers me, and it's funny. It's not so much the troll, but it's a no-win situation. Like Dave's talking, right? The guy is talking out of his, what, doesn't really have an idea what he's talking about, and you can answer him. You can, try to educate them in the chat, but does that person really want an education? Is that person making the comment because he wants to add something like Dave said? No. And even though you can try to counter it, the guy's getting what he wants, or the gal's getting what she wants, because they're getting the attention from the content creators. They're getting the attention in the chat. And it's kind of a no-win situation. And for me, that's the frustrating part.
It's really hard to logic somebody else out of an opinion that they didn't logic their way into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Well said.
Now, what's
we can
worse?
hear you, Chingy, by the way. We can hear you.
What's worse? The guy that, is the comment, warrior, the guy that doesn't, stand in front of the camera, and he's always got all the snipes and all the comments that causes trouble within the chat, or the one that makes videos, maybe they have 20, 30 followers, whatever, and they feel like they are doing a service for the community, and they make BS videos about certain products.
I mean, I guess the person who
Choose
made-
optional.
the person who made the account 2 months ago and replies with no history, no name, no nothing whatsoever, I see as a coward. Like,
I agree with that.
you know, I mean, if somebody's making a video and putting themselves out there, I firmly agree that firmly believe that we are the sum of our experiences. So if we've got, you know, somebody that maybe I don't agree with the person, but like they tried Incredible Suds and couldn't get it to foam, for example. You know, like, okay, well, he had an experience and he shared that experience, and you know, maybe he should have tried something differently. Maybe he shouldn't have, you know. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about with that, but like if you're trying stuff and you're having experience and you're sharing that experience, and as long as you're doing so honestly, I think that's one thing versus, I don't know.
Yeah, and I know who you're referring to. That person in the UK. Like, I don't think he is trolling purposely. I know some people may think he is. I just think that, you know, you can't count their variables out. You know, we may not experience that here in the US. So I mean, that's not really a fair thing. You know, he puts in a lot of work. You know, we may not like some of the answers he might give, but you know, at least he's giving an honest to him, his what we call his truth.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's happening to him. So I give him all the credit in the world. I don't call that a troll. I call that just someone that might need some help. That's all.
Christy, does your channel even have trolls?
My channel's not really big enough to have trolls, but I get people who like to say stupid things here and there. You know?
Definitely a stalker or two, right?
I don't know about stalker, but yeah,
We're talking about Jeff and Greg like that.
No, I mean, I've had a few dumb comments, but boy, I mean, I read dumb comments on other videos like it's my job, you know. Yeah, my trolls are in the classroom, that's for sure. I got triggered once you guys started talking about trolls, I'll tell you what.
In what
do
way?
Do you find being a woman has brought in certain trolls into your community that a guy content creator in the detail world wouldn't get?
Maybe. To be honest with you, I've actually had a couple people message me privately. I won't say who, but letting me know that like things that I'm wearing are too revealing. You know, and if I want people to respect me, I should dress differently.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
You too, Don?
So,
Okay, I thought I was the only one.
Yeah, Eddie is constantly commenting on the size of my hands.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, okay, Jeff. Just show them.
What?
Come on, Jeff.
We might get demonetized. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeff
let's see.
was a hand model in a past life, as we
Somebody's
all know.
gonna send a super chat, Jeff. Keep the hands up.
No, good.
Only hands.
He's blushing.
Only hands. There you
Only
go.
hands, that's right.
Yeah. Chingy.
Yeah, that's kind of freaky that someone's like, you know, saying like, I don't know if he's a Puritan or a priest or what, but you know, telling him, hey, you're not wearing enough clothes for me, so maybe you should put something on.
So let me reiterate or make it clear, it's not males,
Oh, wow.
Oh, even better.
female.
There's only a limited amount of females in this industry, so let's piss them off and cause a drift between each other. We're trying to say, hey, what you're wearing is not working for me, sister.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I took it with a grain of salt. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's the way it should be taken.
inappropriately, whatever. But when I was saying triggered, and I think I put it in the comments, and I won't hash it up because I'm still a little heated over the topic, but you know, I think you guys brought it up when people start bashing brands or saying that they know how to, you know, mix chemicals on their own. Don't go out to, you know, to buy this chemical when you can make it in your sink.
Oh, you have firsthand knowledge of this one.
You know, this chemical's safe, so let's spray it in our mouth. You know, those types of things.
Yeah. Every time you test a panel wipe, somebody's going to tell you in the comments, "Oh, you could just mix that up yourself. Just buy purple alcohol and blue food coloring."
Yeah. Now with Canada and California going to be losing some chemicals, from what I understand, in the future.
That's what I saw
We're going
today.
to have to get some alcohol and glycerin up in this bitch.
I'm probably stocked for some of those already anyway. So
Yeah,
I didn't use
yeah.
much of them anyway, so it was okay. Minus
Yeah,
you,
I'm
Lex,
sorry,
and-
guys. I should be nice.
No, of course
You should
Hey,
be what?
I should be nice. I'm trying to be nice.
No, you don't have to.
we're not talking about anyone in particular.
We're not. We're not.
No, not at all. No one that might have been an analyst in another, department of government that may or may not have passed or failed the test 14 times.
I have no clue.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Chingy.
Yo.
What's your
So
opinion on trolls?
I've got a couple of thoughts on this. I think there's a fine line, right, between being a troll and then just being an idiot. So I'm kind of good with trolls, having a little fun in the comments, poking a little fun, keeping
Yeah, I
it
see you on
lighthearted.
Facebook all the time. What's up?
There,
with
I
that?
think there's a place for that, right? Sometimes we can get so deep in detailing that it's a little foolish to me, where it's like, just lighten up a little bit, relax those eyebrows, because you're getting some age lines developed, and those eyebrows are rocking hard. People need to lighten up a little bit. But then you've got others who are creating content, and where I think it borderlines of just being opinionated to telling people they're wrong when they're not walking the walk. So you got guys that are doing this simulated experiments, and they're not professional detailers. They're not doing thousands of cars. I saw one who went off on Carlos. This guy's done thousands upon thousands of cars. This is how he feeds his family. And you got someone who doesn't live that life and learn things in a classroom, telling someone who has put many meals on his table by living the life. So you go from being a content creator, an opinionated one, to being a bit of a troll. That to me is more the type of trolling that I can't stand. There's some guys that we know as trolls in the comment section, and they can have, a little fun, and they fixate on a specific thing. We'll use price, for example. You've got some guys that are like, they got their calculators out, and they're like 6 sprays at 1.2 mils. That was, so much you spent on a tire on a Porsche, right? On a $100,000 car. The guy with the $100,000 car could give a rat's ass how much it cost. It works for him. Why do you feel so self-inflated in your personal opinion of yourself that you've got to call a guy out for doing what he loves doing? And that to me also is a troll. But just having fun, letting loose, cracking jokes, I think we kind of need that, right? I actually appreciate some of those guys. I myself partake, I'm not just a client.
You don't say.
I'm not just a client, I'm the president. But keep it in good fun. Try not hurt feelings, be respectful. Don't call people names. Don't degrade people's integrity. I think that all makes you a bit of a good troll, as long as you can be respectful and do that. I think there's a place for that. But yeah, more so the content creators that are not walking the walk, telling everyone who works in the industry you're wrong and this is just the way it is, just seems kind of stupid to me. Those are the ones that irritate me a little bit more.
I think you're right. I think having some good fun in the comments and on Facebook and all that, I think that's all in good fun. There's some people in here that some of the people might consider them trolls, but I think they're just trying to have a good time and trying to throw some jokes here and there, and that's all fine if it's in good fun. But it's when it gets to the next level where they're either degrading somebody or trying to tell them how to do their job. It's like, look, there's not one way to do it. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
a good example. Sorry to interrupt. A good example is creators like Jeff and Christy, who they're giving their experience and they're speaking their truth. A good example, Jeff loves GSF. We make fun of GSF, you know, well, a few of us do, but he loves it. And who the hell am I to like fixate on that? And every time I see him, give him a hard time about it. No, that to me is also trolling, you know, in jest, have a little fun. Like, yeah, I
hate
got
this
some on the
stuff.
shelf too, bro. You know what I mean?
I hate this stuff, but it came with my fake detailer kit.
See, in good fun. There's a place for that, but I really respect people who just speak their truth and give their experience. And hey, this is my preference. This is what I like. Whether it's counterintuitive or whether it's just against the grain. Hey, man, you rock on. That's your hard-earned money. You bled for that. You sweated for that.
Do what you want to do.
More power to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I do wish that more people would know how to just agree to disagree respectfully. Like, we're not all going to think the same or be the same or act the same. You know what I mean? We're all human. And I think that's a given. I think some people, though, just love to poke the bear for some reason. And honestly, I would say that those reasons are far more, you know, about what they're going through rather than what you're doing. You know what I mean? But it would be nice if more people would just say, hey, you know what? I don't appreciate what you did. I don't like what you did, or I don't think what you did was right. But hey, do you, boo, and move on.
Sometimes you got to just be like WWED. What would Eddie do? Because that's the one person that I think it takes every troll with the most class I've seen out of any creator out there.
You're right.
He tries to befriend almost every person I see online, and he's very rarely had to like disown somebody basically from the community.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. For me, the way that I look at it, or the way, I guess the way that I've kind of seen it happen over the past couple of years, is for the people that are truly either angry or triggered or, you know, purposely trying to come at somebody and just cause problems. I mean, typically the way that I think about it is they probably have something in their life that's missing, or
that's a great point, Tom.
Something's not quite right. Because I mean, as just a regular human being, I mean, most people just don't try to cause havoc. That's kind of the way I look at it. So I feel that they've probably got some deeper problems than what they really are trying to share with in the detailing community.
Yeah.
Fernando,
you just can't reach.
You've been waiting all show just to use that one, huh, Greg? All right, Fernando, I know you want something to say.
The disrespectful ones, I mean, those are obviously the ones I can't tolerate. But there's another one that is also high on my list, and it's the people that's like, oh, this product sucks, and they've never tried it, right? So how can you be saying it's a bad product when you've never tried it? And you have to have that experience, and you're just talking out of your ass on that one, right? It's just, why would you say something like that if you've never tried it? And that one really gets me.
Yeah, Frankie Lepio, Stay Wet. He had a whole conversation on Facebook as someone that was just, you know, beating the hell out of a chemical, and he's like, "Did you try it?" He's like, "No," and then Frankie's like, "Well, dude, don't talk about it until you try it, you know, because you know you get into the whole white label BS, and you know, so." But yeah, you're exactly right, Fernando.
The way he responded to that was beautiful.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We all saw that screenshot. I mean, what a class act to take the high road. He even offered that guy, you know, some samples of it, and he didn't return the negativity or the intensity of that individual's response. And I was really impressed with Frankie. Frankie's a good dude, man.
Yeah, definitely better man than me.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
For sure. In that scenario,
yeah.
absolutely.
I ran into that about 2 or 3 weeks ago with somebody that was trolling one of the products out of the UK, and I found out that he hadn't even tried it, and I found out his email, and I sent him a message. I'm pretty sure it was his email, and sent him a message and offered to send him an 8-ounce bottle of it. And he said, no, I don't want to. Maybe that's because he didn't trust me having his address or what. But if you're saying something that's that negative about a product you haven't tried, and you've got people willing to send you a free sample, why not give it a try?
I wouldn't trust you either, Greg.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to send me ADS, I'm open.
I mean, really doesn't matter. We have Ricardo, so I mean, we can get your address one way or another.
Yeah.
I think what Conway said makes a lot of sense too. That's something else that I have seen lately, and that kind of irks me, is when people use a product but they aren't using it correctly and trash it. Call it a bad product, yet they didn't follow directions. They're not using it correctly, or they come up with some reason that
Well, I mean,
I'm a little torn
the
there.
first thing,
Kirsty. I'm a
the
little
first
torn
thing
there.
people blame
Are
is
you?
the product.
Yeah,
Well, that's
so
what I'm saying. Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a
I mean-
particular brand that the products are excellent, but their instructions are non-existent.
Well, that's in cases like that. I agree.
To me, the brand, not the people that are fans of it, own the responsibility of putting good instructions out there. And if
Agreed.
people have bad experiences because there's a lack of information available to us, even when you go searching, this brand in particular, you can go searching and even the content that's existing is in a different language, and they're not even representing the brand themselves. They're giving their instruction. So it's not even the instructions from the brand. And so at a certain point, the brand has to own that, and they got to take the hits, right? To me, but then also we do have an onus upon ourselves to go seek out that information, especially if you're preparing to use it on a customer's vehicle. You should test that prior to receiving a paid service for it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Or before you go and make a video that the world is going to see, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah. If I have a good experience with so I generally do not search out any research, anything at all. I read the bottle. I do what's on the bottle. And if I have a good experience, I share that good experience. If I have a bad experience, then I try to adjust variables to try to figure out. I feel like that's your responsibility as a reviewer. Like if I had a bad experience or an experience different than what you expected from the manufacturer, try something different. See, like it didn't foam. Okay, let's put a little bit more in. Let's try to figure out like what is the problem here before trashing a product. But I do agree if there isn't good instructions, like I shouldn't have to go and look for another YouTube reviewer to figure out how to use a product that I bought. I should be able to be a consumer, right? And have the same experience as the consumers.
What I respect about you, Jeff, is you generally don't do negative reviews mostly. You tend to try to find the positive light in pretty much everything you use. And even if there's not going to be something, hey, go out and buy this product right now type of attitude, you at least say, hey, at least it did this or that or the other thing. And I very rarely see you shit on a product, like to the point where it's like, dude, you're kind of like bashing this poor company at this point. You know what I mean? Obviously, putting Amazon crappy Chinese products to the side, you know what I mean? Obviously, when they send you shit, they do it at their own discretion. So, but that's a different ballgame.
Well, and even that, I won't accept something that I don't think is good. Like if, like I have companies that'll reach out to me about like, whatever, like super low end pressure washers or like different random things like that. And I just don't review them because I don't want to have to do a negative review. I don't really want to deal with the like if I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to be excited about reviewing it. It's not going to be a positive video for anybody. I'm not going to enjoy doing it. The MaxFlow one that I tested, like I was actually legitimately excited about it because it's a new thing from a new company, but I don't know, the lower end stuff I tend to not get into, and there are plenty of channels that do that. Keeve does that. Josh does
did it today.
Yeah. And there are people that's their niche and they do it well and they have a following for that. And I don't, it's not who I am.
He did it. It was more like a buyer beware type video today, which is cool. I mean, that's good for the consumer. And he's trying, if someone wants to go ahead and buy a $25 garden sprayer with a piece of rod attached to it, then at least they got the warning from Keeve being like, hey, this is dog shit. but he's telling the truth because it's just a scam going on around, and that's
Yeah.
good. That's what the community is there for, each other up.
Well, and along those lines, I think to a person, all the content creators that we have on the panel right now, Jeff, you kind of, but Christy, Fernando, you guys share the experience. And if you don't like it, you definitely emphasize that that's your opinion, your experience, and you're not trying to push that on anybody else. And I think that tends to lead to keeping your audience, the type of audience that you want, reaching the people that you want, because you're not trying to push, what you think is right and how this and how that. You just share an experience, comment on what's good, comment on what's bad, but you're not necessarily trying to influence, again, and we're talking trolls, influencers, and stuff like that. And I think that makes a huge difference. And, again, like I said, I have been introduced to a lot of different channels, seen a lot of different channels before coming on the podcast. And again, to a person on the panel, that's one of the things that I take away that I respect about how you guys run and operate your channel.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's a good point by Chris M. As a viewer, I almost don't want to see a negative or bad product reviews. Do I really want to waste 20 minutes on a product that I'm told that isn't worth buying in the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because I mean, the worst thing I see is when I see those thumbnails of is it good or is it whatever? It's like, well, just tell me if the thing is shit. Let me know, and I won't waste my freaking 30 minutes of my life watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I've done that before, where like I know it's bad. Right at the very beginning, I'll just be like, hey, just so you know, like, spoiler alert, I didn't like this. You want to watch it? Have at it. But like, I don't want to waste people's time either. Because all I'm going to do is hammer it in the comments. I'm going to get a bunch of thumbs down. Everybody's going to be like, I don't want to deal with all the negativity.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad if it's already on secondhand.
Go ahead.
With Jeff.
Yeah, I hate to keep going back to Jeff, but we'll just reference his GT video. I think it's universally agreed that GT, for the most part, by and large, is a really good brand. But the way Jeff reviewed it, by the time he was done, he said, these two are exceptional. The other ones are good, but they're not going on my shelf. Like, I really like that. I really like how you're very nuanced on how you highlighted the goods, the pros, the cons, but then said the QD, and I think it was Sigma, where you're like, those are really good. Really, really good. And even when you did Luminous, I think it was Glossy and Black Diamond, and you're like, no, Black Diamond's the one for me. I like those kinds of reviews. I like how there's a way to not bash on, because I mean, going back to the age-old principles, not every brand is the best at everything they do. I think a majority of
not
brands,
the complete line of something is going to be exceptional.
Yeah.
And
just
my two favorites might not be your two favorites, right? So I mean, it's all personal preference. I mean, however we decide to test or review something, I could agree with something with Jeff on something. We've disagreed in the past, on certain things. It's like, what, I didn't find it as slick, or as it streaked on me, or I didn't have any issues with it. Again, it goes back to, a product is meant to work in a perfect environment. Now, Jeff's environment is sunshines and rainbows most of the time, and in mine, it's frozen and dreary, right? So, some chemicals that work for Jeff, or don't work for Jeff, work perfectly fine here. It depends on, and I'll never, bash a product. I'll figure out what works in my environment, what works for me. It might not work for somebody else. So
that's what I was going to get into. Detailing is a really polarizing topic.
Huge.
Some people love a certain brand, some people don't like the brand. So at the end of the day, even if you see reviewers say something is good, you still have to test it out
for
in
yourself.
your own conditions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I personally don't like Yum Foam, but everybody loves that. So, you just have to buy the products and test it out yourself. And I think that's what breeds these haters or trolls, because at the end of the day, they haven't tested it, or they did test it and their environment is different than yours. And that's where you can really see, the overlap. But also it's what Don got into, that some of them just have problems in their lives and they're just taking it out on you.
Some of them just need to go touch grass.
Yeah.
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 And at the end of the day, those are the people that wouldn't say it to your face. They're only saying it because they're behind a keyboard and a screen. So I don't take any of their opinions to heart.
Vice, how do you feel about the trolls that are always getting all over you about winning every week?
You guys are some of those trolls, let me tell you.
We're most of the trolls, bro.
I might as well change my name from Vice to giveaway winner, because that's all you guys say.
Well, I got a question for the content creators we got on the panel. Have you guys ever filmed something, done, whether it's a particular product or a line, and once you kind of got done with it, it was either so bad, or there was just something so wrong with it, you decided not to even put it on the channel?
I did a headlight restoration kit, and I had the footage and I sent it to the company and told them, hey, this doesn't look good. And they made some additional suggestions that I polish, or that I go sand it again and try it again. And I wasn't going to spend that time again to go do it. So I just left it. It was like, all right, I'll move on to something else. Right. But I did just throw away one video that I was going to do on a headlight restoration kit.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I just was going to fill a dead air. Go ahead.
I was saying there's been a few, not any Thor products, but there have been, some people to send me some products, whether they've white labeled them, I'm not really sure, but were not good. So I didn't put the video out because, I think Chris did make a good comment though. And I think it is important as well, when there are products that just aren't working correctly or aren't working as they describe themselves to work, then I think an honest review, even if it's kind of looked at as a bad review, is beneficial as well for those manufacturers, those companies, to then go back and make those revisions. Because how does a brand know, what the consumers are experiencing if people aren't talking about it? And how can a line continue to be curated and improved upon and, with better technology if people aren't letting the brand know exactly what's going on? You know what I mean? So I think there's a fine line between what is called, a bad review in terms of I'm just calling this product crap, or this product isn't working as it's intended. Here's what's going on.
Constructive criticism. I mean, I think we have a duty almost to.
You said duty.
What's that?
You said duty.
I said duty. We have a duty to, to not necessarily call out, but sometimes it's just make aware of that, maybe the product doesn't work in all situations.
Yeah.
We had Rob on the other week where he said his soap has an issue with foaming in high TDS scenarios.
That's a majority of them, though.
Most people didn't notice it though.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I believe he's making a change where, it'll work better for people. I like Don and people that have higher TDS situations, and Franco, exactly. But
he's got dirt water coming out of his faucet.
Yeah, I know.
Dirt water.
I'm surprised he's not on a well. As
Yeah.
high as his TDS is. But piggybacking on Christy's point and her comment about Chris M's reflection of the negative feedback is critical for the development of a product, in particular working with the brand and giving that feedback. I think the guys, pretty much everyone who's on the Discord, saw there was a particular brand's product that's widely accepted as a very good product that I struggled with in direct sun. And my personality, how I mentioned earlier, I can control a little bit myself, and I was having fun with it. And David and Mark were like, "Dude, you're smoking crack," and I kept pushing, like, "Nah, man, this is no good." And to the point of working with a brand or a particular developer of a product, this individual was out with his family doing family things, and I was able to connect with them, and he was Johnny on the spot, wanted to know every single detail, like, was the wind on a southwest direction, how many miles per hour. He wanted to know every little detail so he could tinker in his mind of what could have possibly gone wrong. And we identified about 3 different things that possibly could have led to the issues that I had. And they were like, well, it could have been a bad batch. Let me send you a bottle and try it out under the same exact conditions, the same dilutions. Half of my truck was in the shade. The half I struggled with was in direct sun. He was like, everything identical, and redo it all over again. And it kind of blew me away of how willing he was to just drop what he was doing. If I did that and my wife saw me on the phone when we're out on a family event, I'd get hammered, man. That'd be no bueno. And so I was really impressed with that. It made me feel good that, one, he was receptive and responsive in a very prompt
That's really
way,
cool.
and then just was like, tell me everything that happened. They want the good company wants to know that stuff.
Absolutely.
I
so
agree.
to Chris's original comment, I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think it's reasonable for a brand to reach out to a reviewer privately when they have a bad experience. I find it distasteful when a brand attacks a reviewer in comments.
Yes.
Like, have a conversation offline. But there are some brands, like I like DIY Detail actually is probably the best representation of this. Every single time anybody reviews any one of their products, positive or negative, it's thank you for reviewing our products. Thank you for including us. That's all it is. It's just a very one sentence thank you. And like, I think that's the way to do it as a brand. Be respectful. Maybe share a little bit of like, oh yeah, well, you could try this as well, which, like, Nick from Yum is pretty good about that. Hey, try citrus at a different thing for this other thing, and you might actually like that too. Just FYI, maybe just add a nice little thing. But I was surprised at, sometimes I'm reviewing a product line and I would get comments from their competitors bashing that particular product line, or saying how they were better than that particular product line, or how they were less expensive than that particular product line, and it's like, okay, but in this industry, like, so many of us know so many of us, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's a bad taste.
That was
1,000%.
Yeah.
That was, I saw that. That was,
if you're reviewing one company and another company is like you said is bashing or talking negatively about that company, it's more of a bad look on the company commenting than it is on the company you're reviewing.
And I have 2 or 3 brands that I've just chosen to not review them, even though I've owned some. I've had a couple of the products here. I had a couple of things that maybe I got from cleaning out somebody's garage or something along those lines. I might review these, and then like I see how they show up in comments in Facebook groups, in threads, in this and that, and it's like, even if no, I'm good. I don't really need to support it or do it.
Actually brings up a good point. I really wasn't going to get into this, but I mean, does that affect anybody's thoughts on a company where someone that does not represent the company officially but they're in their circle and they get into everywhere else's business. Now that company may not get into the other products, videos or Facebook groups or whatever, but they're like they're fanatics. They get into the groups and they talk shit and they do all the trolling. Does that turn you off from the company, or just because that troll that has nothing to do with the company officially, but they're in their circle?
As a consumer, it does for me, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we all experience it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, there was a brand in particular that when it launched, I grabbed a couple of products that I didn't have good success with because of the way I delivered the product. I was using it in a foam cannon. Once I moved it to the IK with a hard dilution, I have much better success. But I chose not to venture into that brand at full price until I had an opportunity to get some secondhand, simply because of what the mouthpiece was, and it's had good feedback all around from a majority of the reviewers out there that whole line is really good. And so I'm doing my best not to name that brand, but it was a year of not using that product and spending money on products that everyone said was great, simply because of who the mouthpiece was. So yeah, everything you just said, David, that was me. I've lived that.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
but I mean, even if it's an unofficial connection, I mean, can't we, assume, and like I said, if we're making that connection, most people are making that same connection. And so the company unofficially is allowing somebody to represent them. And why would a company want to be able to, or want to allow that to happen?
I think it's the company's duty to actually, I mean, maybe have a conversation with somebody.
Moderate some of that.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to defining representation, defining adjacent to, connected to, whatever that may be. Like, I'm friends with Eddie. I'm friends. I know most of the people on the Thor podcast, but I'm not part of the company. I hung out at their booth at SEMA. I went out to, Eddie bought tequila shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm friends with them. Right. But that doesn't mean that I'm more or less likely to give an objective review of his products. I think that's more a testament to who the reviewer and who the person actually is that's doing that. Like, I try to be, I kind of say, like, I try to be Switzerland, right? I still have TRC products. I still have ADS products. I still have OG products. I have Thor products. I have Quiver products. I have products from like all different sides of the battleground, as it were. And like, I just try to use the products and like the ones that I like. And so I don't know. I get comments all the time though about like, I'm basically Matt's clone, twin, whatever, about like OG Matt, because I have a lot.
You
of
have
OG
bigger
stuff.
hands.
Well, I have a lot of OG stuff. Like, I'm wearing a shirt today, OG shirt, like under a Improved Garage hoodie. Like, that's
links in the description, by the way.
Yeah, and it's like, why do I get comments like that? Why do you wear OG shirts in all of your videos? Well, because I have 30 of them, and I like the way the shirts fit. And because it's actually cheaper for me to buy them from him than it is for me to buy them for myself from the same Improved Garage on them. Like, I just like to support the things that I like, so it does bother me when people come at me and they're like, oh yeah, you're friends with Eddie, you like this, you like that, or whatever, because I'm like, they pretend that I'm a shill because I, got a product for free, or because I am friends with a brand or something along those lines. And it's like, I don't know, being friends with Eddie just means that I'm more likely to reach out to him and say, hey, I had a bad experience with this. Like, what should I have done differently? And give him like a chance. But I try to do that with everybody.
Or
was
hey,
gonna say,
I want a specific towel made, and he immediately does it for him.
immediately 6 months later. But
Yeah.
like actually the towel, that's an interesting thing. That goes back to the comment that you made earlier about actually trying products. I had a bunch of people that commented on the WMD video that I did that said like, oh, I like the gauntlet better. I like this, I like that. And then I find like that they didn't even try it. And I'm like, well, and my response was just, well, as somebody who's actually tried both of them, I had gauntlets for a long time and I switched. And that's just is what it is. Maybe this one isn't for you. Maybe you like the towel a little bit more.
By the way.
What's that? So
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think having both, like where you can, be respectful, be able to have constructive criticism, but at the same time, not go out and bash a company, without even using the product in a lot of cases, or having extenuating circumstances. Like there was a guy who got a frozen bottle of sealant, and he chalked it up to being a bad product. I'm not putting it down, but there's other Canadians that do this. But they use that as exactly, yeah. But they use that as a good litmus test for giving bad reviews, and that's the thing too. Is like you can tell from the cadence of their video and how they're presenting it that it's basically a hit piece. You know what I mean? And that's where I think it goes from constructive criticism to being negative trolling, whatever you want to call it. And then we're not even talking about the people who are in the chat that are just mindless sheep who just basically want to talk shit just to talk shit. But if anyone's got anything else they want to kind of wrap this up with a bow, this is your time, and we can close the subject out for good.
Well, here's what I'd like to say about it is I've got a couple videos. I don't have that many. So what I run into is when I go onto other people's videos and I'll sit there and watch them, and I'll see some of those comments come in that aren't very positive. And, I'll try and ask some questions and have them clarify it. And the response that you get back really shows you what the person is. If they're going to explain and answer your questions, then there might be a good reason why. But if they come back and they immediately start trolling, like what happened on that post that Frankie was on today, you're not going to win any type of a discussion with them. So it's best just for me to disengage with them. There's been two groups, actually three groups that I've on Facebook that I've removed myself from. Two of them because every single day you see something negative. Somebody's asking a legitimate question. It's probably a new person. And some of the responses that go in there are just like, why would you say something like that? This person is asking a good question. They might be new. And okay, well, here, take a look at these videos over at DIY. They've got 200 or so videos that they put out, right? That explain how to do everything with their products, and you can translate that into using other products too.
Yeah. Speaking of questions, guys, start throwing us some questions. We're going to go into Q&A pretty soon, so let's get some more questions up there.
At the end of the day, before we go, I you know what? If I like a company or I like a product, I want to be able to use that product, whether everybody agrees or not. But if I don't want to use a product, and I can still be respectful to everybody else who uses it, the owners, whatever it is. I think maybe a little bit of that is missing, these days.
Yeah, and there's one thing I'd like to throw out that I've been thinking about for most of this discussion is, we've seen several videos come out where a specific product has had I would say, shown that, hey, it's having an issue. It's may not be negative, but hey, I'm having an issue. And the next thing you see in the comments is, just a bunch of negative comments about that specific product. And my question for the content creators out there that do this type of thing is, is this something that you would actually, if you ran into this issue, would you reach out to the person responsible, the company, to discuss it with them before you put out a review or make a video about something that
Absolutely.
is not?
Yeah.
That's just basic human decency, I think, right? You give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You're trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean-
what I'm saying. Oh, sorry.
No,
That's
please,
what I mean
please
is when you are a creator, and I mean, I really don't care if you're a small channel or not, when you are putting yourself and a company on the line in front of the world to see, I think it is human decency to reach out to that brand or to do your due diligence before you make any kind of hit piece, or even if you are going to give a constructive, criticism type of review, to at least have spoken to somebody who knows a little more about the product, and you can speak on that. Like, this is the knowledge I received. This is how it's supposed to work. It did not work this way for me. This is my experience, but you at least have, I don't know.
We've done it in between ourselves. Like I've asked, if I've had an issue with something, I've asked Jeff or Christy or Chingy, or I'll talk to Greg. I'll reach out to anybody. Like, but that's what this whole community is supposed to be about, right? Like, I'm having an issue with something. What's your experience with it? What's your experience with it? My first thought isn't to bash something. It's like, okay, let's figure it out. Let's reach out, to you guys. I need help. What should I try? What am I doing? I've had a conversation.
I think
with
Chingy
everybody.
did that very well. He was having a bad
Exactly.
experience with the product.
Absolutely.
He reached out to the company, and the company walked him through exactly what possibly went wrong.
Yeah, and I think Chingy, you reached out to the community first, right?
Well,
Yeah,
that
we
one,
found
maybe you hit
about
on
it.
something that's a delineation between a troll and an actual, somebody reasonable, right? We have self-awareness, so we realize that we're not always using everything 100%, and the troll doesn't have that self-awareness, and because it didn't work for him or her, then all of a sudden it's bad, and let me talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Actually, with that product, I was hot. You guys, I came in hot. And
yeah, you did.
Like, something happened. Like, I knew something was wrong. Like, this isn't what the other million people who've used it are saying. So something definitely went wrong. And I kept trying to think while also talking a little smack. But it was a safe place, right?
Yeah.
And I got it out. And then the maturity level kicks in. Like, okay, let's figure out what I really want to know what the heck went wrong. More than anything, it's one of the nicest feeling products I've ever felt in this particular category. So it's like, I'm going to miss out on this experience. I don't want to miss out on that. I can't
exactly.
That, so yeah, but it took me, all of about 10 minutes of getting it out and having a little fun with it. And David and Mark giving me a hard time.
I immediately started doing a Rinseless with Nemesis as you were going off about it.
I was trying to keep it hush hush, sir.
At least I wasn't mint.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude, we all know who you were talking about. Who's the only guy that's going to answer his phone?
Clue.
Oh yeah, right. The only guy that answers his phone while he's out with his family. Gee, I wonder who that is.
Well, now I know.
Could have been Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan answers his
Yeah,
phone.
Ivan's picking up the phone. He's more in the comments. We all know that. So, anywho,
There's some good questions in the chat.
Yeah. Do we want to do the beads first, or do we want to go into questions?
Let's answer those questions first, David. And
and on the ending on this subject, let's all be nice to each other, like Jerry Springer used to say. Let's be good to each other. Okay.
Good to each other.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything else.
Yeah, there's a saying in the restaurant industry. It's like, if you had a good experience, tell others. If you had a bad experience, tell us. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly a good way to go about it. All right, let's get some questions. Let's answer some questions.
I'll be right back. Greg, I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right, David. So here we go.
Be sure to wash your hands. All right.
Yeah.
I will.
So
Chelsea
Chelsea's
Bailey.
asking, what's one product? Oh, sorry, go ahead, David.
Oh, no, it's all right, Greg. You want to answer your question? It's okay.
No, you got it.
What's one product or process you were skeptical of at first, but now couldn't imagine detailing without?
I know.
Oh, Christy, you got an answer. Let's hear it.
The PSB.
Perfectly safe brush.
I still don't trust that thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
me either.
I've had it for a
After
year and
Carlos's
haven't used it yet.
I cannot wash anymore without it.
Wow.
And I don't wash.
I'm gonna try it. It's affordable too.
Let me
I
tell
just
you,
saw the price
I
on it. It's
don't
affordable.
wash the whole vehicle with it per se, although I have. But the grills, man, I will never attack a grill ever without the PSB. It has been a game changer. And on, things I can't reach, I don't have to step on a stool anymore.
Yeah.
But a perfectly safe brush on intricate grills is a serious game changer. So, okay, enough said.
Anyone else?
Well,
I think
I'm going through this Rinseless thing, and little background. I've always used Rinseless, but never as the wash process. I've always for the towels or for post polishing and glass primarily. Use the bulk of my Rinseless on glass, but with my integration of the Sun Gel and some powered tools, and with the new products coming out that are much more slick and a better feeling product, I don't know if I'm ever going to do a moderately dusty vehicle with foam anymore. It's just too quick. I knocked out both of my vehicles in about an hour.
I think you by yourself probably gave Sunjo a hit to their stock. Like everyone started buying Sunjos after you were singing their praises about the Rinseless.
Yeah, you should have had an affiliate
I got one
code.
still in the box here when it went on sale. I love that thing. It's great because the PSI, to Christy's point of the bugs, like a little Preludio and a little Sunjo action, and I don't even need the PSB. It all comes off, baby. It's and it's fun. Because I still have my whole day, and that's for my personal vehicles. I still like the foam for when I'm doing a customer vehicle, just because it's more hardwired for me. It's more of a reflex. But Rinseless is a new one. Yeah, I think I'm in the game now.
I agree with you, Jiggy. The Rinseless, when you start thinking about it, it's like it doesn't foam, it doesn't do. You don't see it planing, or you don't see. You're used to seeing foam on something that planes, right? Like for regular soap, and not seeing that, and the dilution ratio of 256:1. You're like 1 ounce is going to cover this whole bucket, right? That I'm going to use. For me, I was super skeptical, and then I started using it. It's like, all right, and now it's my preferred way of washing a car. So it's getting over that hurdle of that skepticism, right? And trying it, that gets you, and you do notice a difference when you try a Rinseless that you didn't like versus one that you prefer, right? And there are differences in the Rinselesses, just like with soaps, and you start noticing these things. And for me, it has changed the way I know that I'm going to use this Rinseless for this process and this Rinseless for this other process. And so that has been a game changer for me.
Yeah, I would say for me, I ended up getting by accident a gallon, probably 6 years ago, a gallon of detail spray from Adams, and I didn't know what it was. Yeah, and I watched a couple videos, and I wasn't convinced I needed a detail spray to use, because I had some nice drying towels, so I just used those. Everything changed last July when I went out to Pocatello and spent 4 or 5 days with Eddie getting some information and training, and then using Yum Detailer. That completely changed drying aids for me. From that point on, there hasn't been a car that I've washed that I haven't used a drying aid on at this point.
Yeah, I would say Rinseless for me. I never thought that I could clean a car without soap. And then I don't know. I'm to the point now where I have a car that's like entirely done with rinseless, and I like being able to do it. Like I'll do it after this freaking podcast. It's 9 o'clock. I'm out there in my, cow slippers.
Yeah, your fuzzy slippers.
Yeah, like legitimately, I just turn the camera on. I don't really script anything, So, but yeah, it's just I never thought that you could have a car that you wash with rinseless, and 2 years later there could still be like hardly any scratches on it, and yeah, it works really well.
So is it about it working, or because you can wear the cow slippers while you're doing it?
A little of both.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little of both. Like not necessarily the cow slippers per se, but like the whole, it doesn't have to be in my driveway. I don't have to deal with the bugs. The garage door doesn't have to be open. There's no overspray on my cabinets. It's just like it's dark and I could still go out there. Cause I just finished working when I jumped on this podcast with you guys. So, it'll probably be 9 o'clock before I get up from this seat that I've been sitting in since 8 a.m. And it's like, if I'm going to accomplish anything today, the only time I'm going to do it is when it's dark out. Just how it is. So,
yeah.
Any other products that people were skeptical of
Yes.
besides rinseless? All right, let's hear it, Noah.
So since you're all going exterior, I'm going to go interior. I'm going to go with the Fur Real pet hair nozzle for the shop vac.
Yeah.
There is some things that you can't vacuum unless you have that.
Yep.
Especially like Tesla carpet, which sucks. That's a game changer right there. And you don't think it's anything special because it's just like rubber, but it really does make a big difference.
It does.
Yeah. All those rubber brushes make a big difference. I have a hand brush too that you just take a bunch of it and put it in a line and then you can kind of suck it up. It's not as good as the For Real, but I have the For Real too. But yeah, that thing.
And it actually lasts for a long, long time. I've never replaced mine, and I've
I'm on
using
the first
it for
one too.
a couple years.
Yeah, I always see the mobile details. They look like they chewed off the whole nub of the For Real. It's like, Jesus, what the hell are they doing with that thing?
Gets used a lot.
They're cleaning stereo cars.
We have one more question. We'll finish it up with
All
one
right,
more question.
all
Go
right.
ahead.
Hey,
David.
and if you guys have questions that have nothing to do with trolls or whatever, ask them. We'll answer anything. All right. David Boyce asks, what's your favorite exterior trim dressing and why? Also, what's your favorite tire dressing? Oh, these are very personal questions, David.
Okay, before you guys answer, I've got to go ahead and get going.
All right, Christy. Thanks for coming on.
Had fun with you guys.
Thank
Love
you,
you.
Christy. Thank you. Love you, sweetheart.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. So right now I use a lot of different tire dressings and trim dressings, but I mix them up. Like I use GT's tire serum. I've used Yum Dressed a lot. What else? Decked Out by Shine Supply is really popular for a water base for me. That's pretty much the top 3 that I've been using right now. And the reason why I use them is because I like them. By the way,
tire dressings is one product that I constantly switch, just because most of them are pretty similar. But
do you have 15 of them laying around as well?
I'm not like Don. I don't use that many, but my favorite one is the Katiba one, and also
wait, the Katiba water based or
it's solvent.
It only has one.
Solvent based.
They only have one.
I thought they had 2. Okay,
Luminous
I'm thinking of Luminous. Sorry,
Luminous has 2.
So I use the Katiba one, and then for dressing on trim, especially trucks, one of my favorites, and it's an oldie but a goodie, is Meguiar's Hyper Dressing, the ready to use. It's really, really good and very cost effective.
Jamie, I'll give you a call tomorrow, Jamie. It's I'll give you the dates.
Get her done.
Get her done.
Go ahead,
I just
Ricardo,
used the
sorry.
new trim restore on this Yukon that I did, my uncle's Yukon, and I used the Luminous. Forget the name of the product.
Onyx?
Body armor.
It's a dedicated plastic.
Oh, the
trim
armor.
restore.
Body armor.
Yeah, in armor or something like that.
Yeah.
A tiny bit went a long way,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked beautiful when it was all said and done.
Yep.
I was on what's the name of it? It was the Naziol trim coat. I was using that exclusively, but the luminous was really, really nice. A sealant type, clutch is really good. It's another one, but very expensive. If you get a big bottle, I think a 16 ouncer is like $35. But for tire dressings, I've got two that are my favorite. I have one, Tire Serum GT has a more softer finish, and it's self-level. It's really nice. But my favorite right now that I use almost exclusively, and I've been picking it almost every time over Tire Serum. I'm kind of like in my Cholo days and my little lowrider days, a little bit more shine, is Tire Plus from ADS. What a great
good one.
freaking product. That thing, and the smells, bananas, and it's just, it's my favorite right now. Yeah, it's a really nice one.
I'm currently actually testing these right now. Ceramic tire dressing from Invoke, and their interior dressings. They're actually really nice. It's not like overly glossy, and the interior is actually pretty muted as well. So that's what I kind of like. I don't like them to be like super glossy.
Yeah.
I don't use interior dressings in, like, I just do quick detail or cleaner, something like that. I usually use like a Pilot or Refresh. Mile Deep Refresh is my current favorite. I don't really do trim dressings either. I'll do a trim restore if I've got some issues like tiger striping or something that's like tremendously faded. And then I could use the DIY one. I could use the ADS one. Like, I think any of the kind of black dyed ceramic restorers all work fairly well. I used to use Solution Finish. I kind of prefer the DIY and the ADS ones to that because they've got, some like barrier in there as well rather than just the colorant.
How much market have they lost to Solution Finish in the last like year or two? Because like
probably
they haven't.
a lot.
Yeah, they have not innovated that much, and everyone's like coming out with these better products right now for like trim restoration.
Yeah. On the tire side of things, I like no shine, really, like very, very minimal shine. So I tend to use like OG tire dressing. I've got Clean Tool tire dressing on the shelf. They're both like super low shine. Yeah, I'm pretty simple with that kind of stuff.
I've got one matte
not.
that I'm going to try, the grayscale. Frankie sent me a sample. I can't wait to try it because I'm like,
see, you got some gallons of grayscale back there.
Yeah, they had a 30% off, and I jumped on it, man. Got the interior, the QD, and then their Glass Plus. Both highly recommended, but yeah, definitely looking forward to try the matte tire dressing.
Yeah, I'll just go real quick. And the Guardian, I use
diluted or not diluted?
Diluted 3
like
to
1 to 3, right?
1 to 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yum Dress.
I like Yum Dress.
And every now and then I get GT Tire Serum. I've got a bottle of that I've been using as well.
Nice. And Franco, you could be like Franco, and he goes straight with Guardian, which is like nuts.
Yeah, I go straight with Guardian, and that's my preferred right now. That's what I got a 16-ounce bottle, and I liked it so much I ordered a gallon, right, for 2 cars, and so I go straight on that and it just shines for weeks, and just I enjoy it. I like it.
You're an animal
preference.
With 2 cars, you have to use it straight, because or else it'll last you a lifetime.
Hey, real quick, if somebody wants to answer this real quick, this would be great. Is
Rupa's Bigfoot worth the money?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean,
I don't think so.
I like the LHR 15. They're cordless. I think that thing is super quiet, works very well. I like it a lot. A bunch of people have blown them up. The actual corded machines, I think that there are better machines for less money. although they have been kind of a staple in the industry for a long time, they were really like the inventors of the long throw polisher. I think their machines are very nice. They're well supported. You can buy nice cases and accessories and lights and all kinds of cool stuff. But, you know, it's like I use the Milwaukees. I think they work really well. I've used the Humpbacks. I've used the ones from Clean, and like shit, I've used 10 different brands of polishers on my channel alone. And I think the technique and the other products that you're using matter a little bit more than the polisher.
Isn't it all personal preference or whatever feels comfortable in your hand?
Yeah.
Look, they make a great product.
They do.
Yeah, Rupes is like one of the innovators in the sector, and all their stuff is way overbuilt, and they are serviceable, and they're great quality products. You're not going to get a shitty product.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it professionally, it's like one of the better ones to get.
At work, I use a Rupes. At home, I use a Milwaukee. I use the Liquid Elements. I use the Clean by Pan, like DIY clone thing. Yeah, and Shine Mates, of course. Shine Mates actually is a good quality product too.
I rock the Shine Mates.
You know,
So do I.
I'm curious with Rupes coming up, because I know they're switching their manufacturing somewhat here coming up in the near future, where they're going to be assembling here in the United States, or even possibly partially manufacturing here in the United States.
That's cool.
Global Materials.
Change up their quality control.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see if they actually can keep that up.
I mean, I do really like their V2 Nano, and that
looks really
one
cool.
of their newest products. I love that thing.
Oh,
But
you've
it's
used
like
it already?
$600 to buy the
Or a 1-inch polisher. Yeah.
polisher again.
Yeah, that's the part that's hard to swallow.
It goes to 3. Doesn't it have an adapter for a 3-inch on there?
Yeah, but when you switch it from the 2-inch, it'll work fine. 3-inch, you're kind of killing the performance of it to switch it all the way up to a 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that
Similar to the
about
EB210.
any 1-inch polisher.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
The LE, I don't think there's really any good, like any 3-inch that makes a great 1-inch. And I don't really think there's any 1-inch that makes a great 3-inch. I think there's just too much range between those two and the amount of pad that you're trying to move around.
Yeah.
And you'll find that if you take something like a Flex PXE80 or the EB210 and you try to put a 1-inch head on it, like you've got this giant head in the way, even though you've got a tiny pad. And vice versa, if you got a 1-inch with a 3-inch, it doesn't have the power to throw it around in the way that like the EB212 or a Merca or something else will. So
if you're gonna I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Adamo, I feel like I cut you off there at the end. I'm sorry.
I can't remember what we were saying.
Oh, sorry.
I'm so intently listening to you, so I can't.
But yeah, if you're gonna pick like 3 polishers, get a long throw, whether it be a 15 or 21. Get a dedicated 3, and you can go with either a dedicated 1/2-inch polisher, and that should suffice for 99% of the stuff you're gonna do if you're doing it at an enthusiast level.
Yeah, and I use my 1-inch with the wand more than I use it without the I usually just use the 3-inch for all the small stuff, the mirrors, the bumpers, all of that kind of stuff. Most of the time, if I'm using my 1-inch, it's with the wand.
Yeah.
And you don't have to get like I know Flex makes their own wand, and does Rupes have one? I can't remember now. There are a couple brands that have wands out there. There's a third-party wand from Kotic, Coatic. They sell it at Carzilla, and it works with like anything. With Rupes, with the LE, with like a whole bunch of different ones. And then you can just buy whatever drums you want to. You don't have to use their drums. You can get them from a variety of manufacturers. They're just a little, whatever it is, 1/8-inch round. And that thing works great. But I use it all the time for door handle.
They have 2 or 3 different styles, because some of the polishers use the same thread and pitch, and some of them don't. So they have 2 or 3 different styles you can buy. And yes, Jeff made me spend money on it.
Yeah, twisted your arm, didn't he?
They're like $125 from Carzilla, and like I said, you can buy the You can buy the Batoka polisher for $100 and connect it to it. And it works.
You can't buy anything from Carzilla anymore.
Yeah,
they'll fix that. They'll fix it.
Let me know.
Adamo will be your drop shipper.
Yeah,
there's ways around it.
But yeah, he's right. They make a version that's for Flex and Rupes, and then they make another version of the Kodak that's just like the standard thread that screws into like the LE and the other ones.
Don't buy the
that one-
SPTA like Amazon stick it to your drill like one. That thing is a piece of shit.
That little wand can get into a lot of places. It's quite versatile. It's nice.
Are you guys talking about the flexible shaft?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Kodak flexible shaft polisher is its actual name. And it's like 95 euros, 125 US, something thereabouts. I'm seeing a bunch of different
Euros.
places.
Getting all bougie on us.
I'm searching Google because Carzilla I can't buy from right now.
Right.
But
which, speaking of which, UK suppliers, please ship to me. I've been emailing every UK place trying to get a fat newt, and I can't get it. So come on, someone reach out to me.
David,
Yeah, let's go.
If it's available here, let me know. I can send it.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'm keeping an eye out for Chris to put it up for sale.
I've been
still,
looking at Carzilla. It's not on there yet. There are a couple of resellers in the UK that can't ship here. I'm guessing it's because OG has US distribution
Exclusivity.
rights. Yeah. So I don't think that anybody else can import into the US currently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for once, I can get something that you guys can't. The first time.
Winner.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around.
All right. So I think we're good on this one. And Shell, so just wanted to remind everybody, just bring the positivity. Keep it all positive. You know, you're always gonna run into negative comments, and don't engage. You know, just try and respond positively. And you know,
sorry, I was going to say back to the Rupes, is it worth the money comment? Check out secondhand detailing, car detailing deals. There's a couple different groups on Facebook where people sell secondhand stuff. Those things, like, they show up pretty regularly on there for 25 to 50% off. So, you know, if it's a comment about like worth the money, you might be able to get a Rupes for, you know, flex price or DIY price or, you know, something like that. Sorry.
Yeah.
And being on a secondhand market, they're worth it even more because they're serviceable. So that's the good part about getting those.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll just finish it with this one more time.
Some men you just can't reach.
Get your money's worth out of it.
Yeah. So let's just take a quick break from all the talking. We'll take a look at a couple bead people.
Bead videos, bead people.
Bead people.
Is it people?
People's beads.
Yeah.
Spit it out, Greg.
So there we go. So the first one is from William B, who just retired from a career in the Coast Guard. Thank you for your service. And it was raining one day. He came outside, and this is what he saw. Take a look at this one, and then move on to the next ones.
Here's my other kid's car. This one has the Diamond Protec on it and a B. Look at that little guy.
As one, and we've got our friend Vic from Florida.
Is that?
Do we know what that one was?
That's
Katiba.
Oh wow!
Yeah. That's from 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
That's doing good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I was going to say,
like
it's
5
over a year
months
now,
old?
right?
Is it
I
over
thought
a
it
year?
was
Okay.
older. I thought it was older.
Older than a year.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
18 months or something like that. Crazy.
And we have our buddy Matt Niels.
Post wash.
Fun
So
fact,
she's
that
here.
wasn't a hose. That was sweat.
Are those just spray coatings?
He's doing it. That's his test panel.
Yeah, the test
Okay,
panel
that's
with all
his
the
test.
different
Okay,
spray
yeah, it
coatings.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but there was a couple flat spots there too. I mean,
Yeah.
it looked like flat to me, so I was hoping to get some information from him, but I didn't.
That's his. I think that's his 1 year test. Like he's doing multiple 1 year spray coatings on the hood.
Right.
Yeah, the top part had the double layers and the bottom part had the single layers on the panel.
Thank you, Ricardo. And we got two more. This one's from Corey, and it has nothing to do with Labo at this point, which is nice to hear.
Sure, it's not Idris.
Clean.
And
Clean.
That was Idris save.
8 year.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Clean by Pan 8 year. Here's the last one. This one is submitted by me. Check this out. Any guesses?
That's
Yum
I
6.
can't guess because I know.
I was gonna say Yum or Luminous, one of the two. Or is that
No.
that's not Chimera? Huh?
No, so that's the Acura, with 400,000 miles on it. I haven't put a coating on it in probably 4 years. There's no protection on it. I just washed the panel, and this is what I put on it.
I can't see. It's an invisible bottle.
Oh, it's a bullet.
Oh, wow.
It's L001.
That's that
Yep.
new one.
Is that the spray wax or is that a
Yeah, performance liquid wax. Yeah, I
Nice.
was pretty impressed with that. Yeah,
That looked like a full-fledged coating.
yeah, it looked pretty good. It was very good. Of
Wow.
course, I did everything like I would do a coating, except I didn't buff it, but I did do a complete decon on it. So with that, thanks everyone for listening, your questions, and Chelsea, send us an email at info@clearcoatconfessions.net. Great question you had tonight, and we're gonna have I've got a surprise for you. So send it to info@clearcoatconfessions.net, Chelsea, and we'll get you something out. And we've got two other giveaways that are going to be a surprise. That they are Kataba products, and we'll do something in the comments after. We're not going to do anything in the chat right now. I don't want to do that. It's too hard. So Vice,
Gives Greg a heart attack.
Yeah, we don't need that. Vice, you'll be responsible for coming up with the hashtag or the word. Okay.
No hashtags.
Let's do no hashtags. Just
comment.
Tell us what your favorite Katiba product is.
There we go.
It's a good one.
There we go.
And I will say that the three products were gifted to us from Chris M. Believe it or not.
Thank you, Chris M.
Thank you,
Chris.
M.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I would like to
Yeah.
say all of our giveaways have not been sponsored by the podcast, but by people like you. So thank you all very much.
The community itself has really stepped up, and we really appreciate it. Like, we do this because we love to talk, we love to chat. We do it, on a weekly basis, whether somebody watches or not. But it's been we've had really positive feedback. I know sometimes it's a little confusing, but we're trying to work some camera angles like this, so whoever's talking is maybe highlighted a little bit, so maybe it makes it easier for somebody. So it's a work
half
in
of
progress.
us
We're trying.
in here are retired, so give us a break, okay?
All
Can we
right.
go back to
So
bullet for a second? That's Jax's new line that he brought from South
The
Korea.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
the class L001.
Wow. That kind of blew me away. That the hydrophobics were aggressive. That was really
His microfiber stuff is really good too. The Pure Star,
Pure Star, yeah,
and
and
the wheel mitt.
The wheel mitt's nice. But Greg, if I'm not mistaken, you didn't
Let's
polish.
not forget
You didn't
the cartons.
Yeah, you didn't polish. You did a full decon on it, but you didn't polish or anything, right?
Correct. That's the only thing I didn't do. The paint doesn't need it at this point. And if I do get a coating for it, I'm not polishing it.
Hey, Greg, will you mind sending me some of those videos so I can see more of that? I appreciate it.
We're not going to ask what you're going to do with them. We'll just respect your request.
Well, I'm kind of a connoisseur. I'm kind of a connoisseur.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
All right.
Yeah. Well, so to
no judgment.
be transparent, Chingy, when I was putting this together, I probably did about six videos of it. And I finally said, let's try something a little different, going straight on. And I remember Chingy saying something, hey, I'm getting this angle and I'm coming up from the bottom and, getting that camera down low. And it's just all different types of angles. So I had probably 6 or 7 different angles that I was working on. And that one came out really good. And I was a little lower than the pressure washer gun. And I was pretty impressed with how well that was coming out. So
came out good.
Quit giving Chingy props. He can't even use Rinseless right.
One of the easiest ones.
I'm a baby.
He just doesn't trust it yet. One day.
Hey, you know what? You got to give him props because, from where we were, a month and a half ago to where Chingy is now with Rinseless, he's making a lot of progress.
Yeah, that's all you guys.
We actually called it slick.
Yeah, for the first time. For the first time. No, if you guys haven't tried it yet, sponge to get the dirt off and then come back over a clean panel with the Wash Boss Junior or any wash mitt or pad of choice. The level of slickness is that's enjoyable. It's really enjoyable when it's a clean panel and you just get to feel the purity of the Rinseless. That was pretty cool. 2 bucket.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
So Chingy, I was going to ask you were keeping the sponge in one bucket and the wash pad in another?
Yes, sir. So the sponges were there to get the dirt off, and the wash pad bucket was pure. It stayed clean the entire time. And I got to really feel the just the purity of the Rinseless. So I think
pure Rinseless with a sponge, pure Rinseless with a sponge, and then the microfiber pad or whatnot is just for enjoyment.
Yep. Just to get
that's
kind
of cool.
Feeling. Yeah, it was fun.
That's kind of cool, man. Yeah.
I wouldn't waste my time like that with the customer vehicle. Again, I use foam, but
no, you know what? Sometimes we have to do stuff just. To remember why we do this. Just, you have that feeling, that pure enjoyment. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, it was a good time.
All right, David.
All right. So next subject, and we're going to, again, keep it pretty vague. We're going to talk about influencers' effect on us buying products. So before we've had a subject very similar to this in the past where we talked about influencers' products. Now we're talking about the influencer actually influencing us buying stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be their product. It could be whatever they're selling, or it could be a review.
Touched by God.
Exactly.
Is there a way to put a wanted poster with this gentleman's face on it?
Hey, I'll give Jeff this. He just shows the product, and we are just like the type of people we see shiny stuff and it's like, I gotta buy it. So he just facilitates us where to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't tend to buy stuff because of influencers, but I do like somebody earlier.
Wait, can you unzip your jacket again?
No. Somebody, I just like the shirt. Somebody. Yeah, I guess originally, I started out that way by buying a lot of stuff because of OG and then kind of exploring from there. But I don't think I do at this point. Like Pan talks about something or Eddie talks about something. I don't buy it because of that. It's more, I'll buy the new stuff, the whole line, whatever. But like somebody in the chat said today, have you tried IGEA from Labo Cosmetica? When I was talking about like interior cleaners, it's I already bought it like during the podcast here. I'm more likely to do that because somebody asks me if I've tried something and I know, okay, well, there's somebody that has interest in whether or not I'm going to like this or not. So
you could have asked. I'll send you a bottle.
Yeah, whatever. Amazon has it. It's like $25. No big deal.
Jeff, somebody in the chat asks if you have used the new wake heater coating.
I have not. And coatings are like the one thing, you know, when I say I buy one of everything, I tend to not buy coatings because I only have 4 cars.
Yeah.
And I don't want to clean.
Only. You Mexican, Jeff? Just a secret Mexican. He got 4 cars.
I only have 4 cars. I'm not allowed, like, technically I'm not supposed to detail per like the HOA stuff. So I do a couple things for friends here and there kind of thing, but I can't have a business here. So because of that, it's like, well, I have 4 cars. They're all coated. So I can try.
And recently too, like they haven't been, coated for years.
Yeah, I have to polish coatings off of my cars to do new coating try, and I've got a dozen of them here to try because brands just sent them to me, which is like, yeah, first world problems. I get that, but at the same point, like, I've got Yum here, I didn't pay for it. I've got Clean here, I didn't pay for it, and like, I want to try them both, but I have to polish a car to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. The worst thing they could do to you though is send you like only a partial bit of the line, and then that makes you go out and buy the rest of the line.
Yeah, and he does.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened with Ethos is a good example.
Ethos, yeah.
That. They sent me a foam cannon, like 3 or 4 different products, and a couple towels, and I bought the whole rest of the line.
Mr. One of Everything.
Yeah.
What happened to that hashtag? It kind of went away for a bit.
Well, there haven't really been any like full lines that have. Well, anyway, I haven't bought any full lines in a while because I have so much stuff here. And what was happening? Like, I have a whole bunch of Fine Lab stuff that I never got to test before they released their new products. I have a whole bunch of, like, in general, different lines of stuff that I never tested because the new versions came out before I did.
By the time you get the next gen, they're gonna have the new line out.
Yeah, that's a great one. The day they were released, I bought the entire line. I still haven't tested them.
And they're working on a new set right now.
Mm-hmm.
Conway has a really nice comment that I think hits home, in particular for me. Maybe not so much the addictive nature to chemicals, but I think a common thread in a lot of us is we have compulsive tendencies, which falls in line with addictive personality types. And when I was going to say earlier, all of you have influenced me heavily on the products that I try. And when you see something used, whether it's the influencer themselves or just the sheer fact that this product is now in front of my face, I'm itching to try it. So maybe it's not so much the influencer in particular, but rather that I'm seeing it and my eyes are intrinsically tied to this compulsion, and I need to try it and I want to try it. Which is nice to be in a group like ours where you guys have been so open and willing to send samples, and going back to my Rinseless walkabout, I'm on this journey to try and find what all of you guys have loved so long about Rinseless, and it's caught on, so I really am very fortunate to be a part of the circle that we're in. But it is a real thing. That FOMO is that's a real thing, man.
Here's a good question for all of you guys. And I noticed this over the last couple of weeks because of Memorial Day and like all the different sales going on and stuff like that. How much is it that you guys just want to get the new thing, and how much is it that there's a sale, I gotta buy stuff, even though you probably don't even need it, but you buy it anyways. Like, and then you got to get the free shipping. So we'll get fill up the cart even more, get the free shipping. And then you get those live streams that they throw out, hey, this product, that product, whatever. And then next thing you know it, you got like 14 boxes showing up to your house of stuff that you don't probably have any intention of using for the next 6 months.
100%.
Let me tell you, the marketing behind free shipping, whoever created that is a genius, because I have never bought anything in my entire life without getting free shipping. There's no way I'm paying for shipping.
Yeah, if I spend $50 more, I get $20 shipping for free, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
$300
And then
to get free shipping.
you make it work in your head, and then you're just spending more money. But
The math always works in your head, Vice. The math always works
it's
in
like
your head.
it's like girl math, but like detailer math. You know?
Yeah. I just paid $10 shipping for the new Tech 210 Rinseless because Alvin brought it up to my attention yesterday that it came out, and I was trying to say, okay, $100 free shipping, and I was looking at Tech's, and the only place I can get was their website. And I was like, dude, I do not need $100 worth of their shit. So I was like, I'm paying the $10 shipping. Yeah, so I just bought the Rinseless $8 to $10 shipping and said, screw it.
That's amazing restraint. Amazing.
I know.
restraint.
Tell me about it.
That can't be me. That can't be me. I'm spending $100 every time.
I'm more likely. I don't buy something because of the sale per se. I generally buy something because I'm afraid it's going to sell out and then I'm not going to be able to buy it, especially like all this Thor stuff. Thor's been really hard for that for me because they'll release an entire line and they'll sell out of like 1 or 2 products in the first day and then they won't have it again for 6 months. So I feel like on release day I need to get the whole line, or there's going to be 1 or 2 products that I can't get, and when I'm ready to test the line I'm not going to be able to test the line because I won't have these 2 products that I really need to like fill it out, and then all of a sudden it's like this spiral, right? And then of course it's like, okay, well, if there's 4 new products that come out and I'm at $72, I'm going to add something to get the free shipping. Like, yes.
Or
call you.
Yeah. What do you need? I need $30. Do you need anything? I got to get free shipping. What do you need?
Yeah.
Ship it to my house.
But now that Thor is working with so many different distributors, like, you know, worst comes to worst, like when they come out with the new line, it might be on Amazon now. It might be at Car Supplies Warehouse. It might be at H2O. So you can go to other places if it happens to sell out on their website and still find it at another distributor. So I don't get that FOMO as much.
But the problem is when you missing 1 or 2 products, then they have free shipping of $100. So for the 2 or 3 products, then you're spending.
Right. No, I get that. I get that 100%. But it's not the end of the world in like a situation where Jeff, needs 1 or 2 products.
Well, where I'm sitting right now, so Pycar, great example. Pycar released their new line. I want snow foam. I can't get Pycar snow foam. Nobody has. I can buy a 5-liter, I guess, but it's not in stock as a 32 ounce in the US anywhere that I can find.
Hit us up.
Not even in Canada.
Some of us got it.
Yeah, well, I didn't order it on release day because I was busy that day. It's been sold out ever since, and so I'm just waiting. And as soon as it comes back in stock, then I'll grab it. But yeah, that's one right now that I want that I can't get.
I got some of this I can send you.
That has more to do with, I think, Pycar kind of like setting off their launch without not having all their products. I do think they're having, it's not going to be 6 months for the next batch to come in. I think it's coming in.
It should be quite shortly, actually.
Yeah, yeah. So that was them just trying to,
they had
it
limited
out.
stock too. Yeah.
They also stocked a ton of brick and mortars.
Yeah.
So my local here in Sacramento, they've got it.
Okay.
Jeff,
yeah, I mean, like I see,
if you want a full liter, I'll get it for you.
H2O doesn't have it.
Oh, really?
Mirror Finish doesn't have it. Supreme Detailing doesn't have it. House of Rags doesn't have it. Like all of the 1 liters are. Oh, actually, I take that back. No, that's Pure Shampoo. Never mind. Yeah, none of them have it right
Jeff
now.
saw it up there for a second. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I almost bought it. But yeah, nobody has a 1 liter in stock right now. Now I can get a 5, but I don't need a 5 liter for a single test.
I'll call in the morning. If they got it, I'll get it and send it to you.
I appreciate that. But that was just an example of like, if I don't buy it on the first day, then what ends up happening is 6 months down the road, like I feel like I can't test the line because I'm missing 1 or 2 products.
Well, and
we'll
I
get
get Jeff talking about buying the entire line, but I think we're all, and I'm including myself in this comment, we'd be remiss if we're admitting that we're talking about buying a whole line and not blinking an eye.
Well, I mean,
that's
it's not
different.
unheard of in this group because we don't have to be content creators to buy a bunch of like almost the whole line. I won't say I buy the whole line, but I buy a lot of shit I don't need. So I mean,
I
and
know you
just
got the
like
whole Invoke line right there, right?
yeah, that was more of like Ulysses selling me like whatever Eddie had in his cabinet when he's clearing it out. So I mean, that was more a chance thing, but that wasn't like me going out and buying. Hey, I got to go call Australia and get that whole kit. You know what I mean? But I mean,
Well,
like I'm sure there's a bunch of us that when they have those live streams, you get in the moment with Eddie saying whatever, or whatever guest comes on, and you just like shit, I gotta buy this, or you want to get in that giveaway for the free flex polisher, and you gotta spend $250 or whatever it is. So that's
Yeah, I
that's
did
just
that with the EB212 when it first dropped stateside. I was one of a handful of guys who got in. I think Conway was another one who got it right away. And then you couldn't get it for months.
Yeah.
And I seriously considered selling it on secondhand for an uptick in price just because everyone was hitting me up when, I was like, yeah, I got it. Now I'm thinking about selling it, but,
I had offers for $100 over what I paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I tested mine and sold it for what I paid. And one of the
Yeah,
few products that I broke.
I was like one of the first people that text you or email you, and you're just like, yeah, it's already sold.
Yeah.
I think I see the guy who got it. Is he on
No,
this,
I think Becca did actually on that one.
Becca got it?
Right.
I thought it was Adam.
Yeah. No, he got my Nano. He got my humpbacks. He got, I don't know, he got a bunch of polishers off me over the years, but
I bought that Shine Mate because of Jeff's review. I'm like, this fits my. I mean, talking back to the influencer, right? Jeff showcased it perfectly, right? It showed off what it can do. He sold me on it. It was, and it's a great little polisher.
It's a great machine. It's a great machine.
My favorite polisher I've ever used.
It's my favorite polish. It's always within hand's reach of me because whenever I want to do a quick polish, if I see something, it's the first thing I grab.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, it's trusting Jeff, right? And trusting when you guys mention something, hey, I bought this and it worked great. I trust you guys. And that's where I use that influencer from you guys, the influence to go buy that or I really trust your guys' opinion on it. I value it.
Oh, shucks.
Because we're not trolls,
Yeah. Well, and there's a piece of it too about reviewing the products at the right time, right? And like the Shine Mate is actually a great example. The first couple people that review that product when it's completely sold out, there is no affiliation whatsoever. There is no kickback whatsoever. You are in, and you're not making any. And it's not like we're doing this to make money, but the reality is, like, I spent $8,000 at House of Rags last year. And it's like, at some point, that money needs to come from somewhere, right? Like,
that's it? No.
Yeah, 8290 is the number.
Wow.
Oh man, we need next week. We need to get everybody's numbers of the year. That's content right there.
That's
a Shopify. We can get those.
No, not gonna do it.
No. So I guess what I'm saying is like I released a video on that, and there are a bunch of people that bought it, and I didn't get any sort of credit for that in any way. I got the content, I got the video,
at the beginning.
But like the flip side of that is like the Merca. When OG, like Matt had the Merca and he showed it on video, and like there's a couple people that like kind of knew what it was, and I got one from Beaver Industrial Supply, and I sat on the video until he had them in stock, and then I released my video like the day that he has them in stock. I got my Merca for free because the affiliation paid for my Merca.
Nice.
And it's nothing at all to do with believing in the product or not believing in the product or any of that kind of stuff. But it's just like that's another piece of this whole like the FOMO thing, or ordering products at the right time, or making sure that you have them when things are hot. It's like if you release a video for Yum when Yum is available, it's way different than if you release a video for Yum when Yum is not available and no one can buy it, as to what you get in terms of, affiliation and viewership and some sort of return on your investment in some way.
Here's
Ape your
a quick
hand.
question. No, we're talking about like, videos and live streams like causing us to go out and buy stuff, whether it be necessary or unnecessarily. Look at TRCMA, where half the stuff that they presented was either available and for a long time and no one needs to buy it, or they're still not available to this moment. And every day that goes on, I'm getting less and less interest of buying their foam cannon or whatever. And that goes to what Jeff's saying about timing, about releasing those videos.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's a strategy behind it that I think many of us who aren't doing what Jeff does don't even consider.
Yeah, it's a lot of psychological behind it, releasing those videos at the right time or live streaming at the right time. I mean, there's obviously exceptions to the rule, like, Clearcoat tire QD. I mean, where everyone was like awaiting it with it, with, friggin' foam coming out of their mouths. But then there's other stuff where it's like, I lost interest, because either the product wasn't available at the time of launch or, whatever. But anyone else have anything similar to that, where they were interested in a product and they lost interest because of the timing?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get it because sometimes I can't get stuff here right away.
Yeah,
sometimes
that
it's 2,
sucks for
3,
you.
4 weeks, a month, 2 months.
Yeah,
I'll give you a perfect example. Clearcoat wheel and QD. Wheel and tire QD.
Yep.
Yeah.
That shit took a year to get here. And guess what I bought? I bought it.
Yeah, I'm saying that was the exception to the rule, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes
to your point, I still want the Rag Company pressure washer and foam cannon just because there was so much R&D in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a point of them building hype, and then there's also a point where you lose interest, and that's the hard part for the companies. They have to reach a happy medium.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you definitely can't wait a whole year, or else nobody's gonna buy it.
Right.
It's got to be a really special product.
Josh is dancing that line right now with his pressure washer.
Yeah, his pressure washer.
Yeah, we're gonna get GTA 6 before we get his pressure washer.
Yeah,
he's gotta,
the dude was not even interested in chemicals, and pressure washer was his number one thing. Yet he's released almost a whole line by now of chemicals before you guys pressure washer.
Can I? And he's run into some snags and whatnot,
Yeah,
and some
correct.
production issues and whatnot. Would you rather he would have released something and it be or him taking his time? Because I don't think he wants to release anything that is mediocre. He wants to release something that's it's got the flow that he wants, the PSI that he wants, as quiet as he can for a reasonable price. And I think there's that fine line because he's trying to live up to that expectation, and I can't imagine trying to go through that and say, well, no, I'd rather wait a bit, make sure this is right, make sure that is right, because if he gets it wrong, it's even worse.
Well,
the more he waits, the more possibility of him getting it wrong, because now they've come out with a version 2 of Active 2.0. They have the Max Flow that also does 2.0 GPM,
and they're on V2 as well. Or
they're on V2 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and McKillen's just came out with one as well at a reasonable price frame. So
there's a fine line, right?
Exactly.
So it's got to be hard to make those decisions. And I mean, we've probably all done it on a detail. You press that little bit extra. Sometimes it comes back to burn you. Sometimes you hit a home run. So,
it's got to be something really special at this point.
And I was going to say, like, having kind of witnessed both in the industry, like Pressall is a fantastic example. You see Matt come out with I've got these Pressall bottles. I imported a truckload or whatever, a container of them. I spent 60 grand on these things. They're okay, but we think that we can make them great. But if you're going to buy these and bitch about it, then don't buy them. And he specifically posts a paragraph like that on the webpage.
Yeah.
Do not buy these and expect to return. There is no warranty. You're going to buy them and you're probably going to throw them away. Things are probably going to break. And he still gets crucified in the comments over it. how dare you sell a $15 bottle and have it fail, and all this stuff, right? And it's like, that could have been Josh releasing a pressure washer too early.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I think now he runs the risk of like, what if he waited 2 years to release it and it's still imperfect because the sample size, the testers, the whatever have, like there are some things that maybe haven't been thought about. He sends it to Christy and she breaks it. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know.
Mhm.
And
Well, you'll
There's a
just take a
window,
trip
right?
up there to fix it, Jeff.
well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
it's
get
really
out,
sucked
you
for
can get
Josh that
outpaced in the market.
yeah, it really sucked that he got into that first. Well, he had the first factory that did it right, but he got that other factory saying they could do it better and cheaper and all that stuff like that, and then they screwed him in the end. And then he's right back to the first factory. Like, if he stayed with the first factory to begin with, we would all have his pressure washer by now.
Another thing is that, since he's an influencer, he's being extremely open on the process.
Right.
But once you're that open, you're also releasing your secrets, quote unquote, to your competitors. And maybe that's why these other companies have actually, because they have the infrastructure and the money to do it before he can.
Yeah, but I don't think none of us should really cry for Josh, because he's like in a similar, in a similar situation as Pan, where we're not his only target market. They have a big enough audience where he's going to sell pressure washers, no matter, when he releases it, because there are people that don't watch detailing channels except for him or just Pan or whatever. And they're going to buy his stuff just because they're, loyal to him. So
Yeah,
I think
was gonna word that a little
do okay.
differently. He's built enough cachet in the game with his product line, with his reviews, where he's a trusted, known commodity, and he has a foundational base of supporters that want to support the person a little bit more than they want to support the product. I buy Josh's stuff just because it's Josh, right? Not because I think this product is going to be mind-blowing and change the game. I mean, I bought Impact, and that wasn't the greatest product, but I still used the crap out of it, and I ended up making it work for me because that's Josh. So I
Yeah,
think
but out of all his products, one out of the whole line, the rest of the line is solid. I mean,
yeah,
Impact,
that's what I mean.
yeah.
He's built that
Yeah.
cachet of
Yeah.
good faith, and he's an open guy. He's transparent,
Mhm.
and it's endearing. However you look at it, it's endearing.
Have you tried Impact Foam paired up with his APC?
No, I stuck it in my wheel
The Green
bucket.
Goblin.
He
I
calls
stuck
it the
in
Green
my
Goblin.
wheel bucket. Yeah, I don't have his APC, but I still have some left. I'll try it with a different APC, but I've used it in my wheel bucket, and it's been great because it's still relatively slick and it's a higher.
Yeah,
blade.
I enjoy Impact Foam quite a bit, right? But I use it in certain situations where I don't need that ultra snow foam, pH 14, hammer. So
right.
I've enjoyed it. So, but yeah, you should try it with I've tried it with his APC and the green and the yellow APC. It's like fluorescent green. It's fantastic. Just
oh, nice.
Yeah, and it works really well. So.
But I think though, there might be a difference between somebody who's purchased hundreds of chemicals, taking a flyer on a couple chemicals from Josh. Worst case, they suck. You're out a couple, $100, couple $100, maybe total, something like that. There are probably people that have watched him for years that buy a lot of things that he recommends. And if he released a pressure washer and they spent $600 on it, $500 on it, something like that, and it ended up not being what they expected, like, they might never buy anything he recommends again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think
a lot of pressure.
I think to a lot of us, we don't really care about the money when it comes to detailing stuff. Everybody in this room, and I think there are a lot of people that do. And Josh has a lot of pro detailer followers that tend to be more, let's say, cost conscious, but they tend to care a little bit more about how much they're spending on materials than we do.
Yeah.
Right? They're the guys that bash me over GSF.
But you know what? How much of a hit is Josh gonna really take? I mean, I equated it a little bit to the Max Flow, right? Max Flow came out, and when people started using it, it was crazy bad, or the people were finding, and they just revamped it, took what people were saying, and now there's a 2.0, and people are buying the 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, whenever you get a version 1, you gotta take the onus that you're kind of being a beta tester, and in today's markets, unfortunately, we are beta testing on V1s, and you know, if you're the type of person that's gonna have that regret or buyer's remorse, wait till version 2, because there'll always be a version 2 that's slightly better.
Yeah, I think that's why it's smart to always buy the smaller. The smaller
Bottles.
option, the smaller bottle.
As he says that with 5 liters.
17 5 liters behind him.
So yeah, Yum. I when they were with Veloci or however you pronounce it, when they liquidated, I got everything 50% off.
I did too.
And I bought like $300 worth of stuff after his live.
I bought one of everything that Yum made from MTM Hydro Parts. The only thing I didn't get was the rinseless and the coatings because they didn't exist at the time.
Yeah. And I felt like I bought him out because when he went live, the Get to Know Josh episode on that live, there's something about a pal. And I saw his service in Afghanistan as here's this country that's fighting our battle. Like, that's the kind of homie you want that's willing to take on your bullshit and go to town and go to war with you. And so I thought that's a good dude because they didn't really need to get involved, but they did. And, he's a frontline dude. And that speaks to me. Maybe not speak to everybody, but it spoke to me. And then so I was like, oh, Veloci's got 50% off. I'm going to get as much as I can. So I remember getting like 6 or 7 bottles, and they were the 500 mils of everything. Everything they had, citrus, wash, foam, ramp. I mean, and so like I kind of knew what I was getting into, and I fell in love with citrus. And so now I just buy jugs, man, and detailer. I was one of the first ones that was like, oh my God, this stuff's amazing. And sort of speaking to Jeff when he was talking about GSF, about the detailers out there, talking, negatively about the cost for some products. I mean, detailer is expensive, but for me, it's worth every single penny. Because I love every second I'm using it.
And Chingy, correction, you're talking about Nick, not Josh, right?
Yeah, Nick. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. But it was just one of those things where it's like you buy stuff because of the person.
Yeah.
Looks like Conway's got a question here. How do you guys feel about products that get a new version really fast about after being promoted previous as a cat's meow? Do you think the next V would take a little time? So I think we've touched this in this past where we all get a little bit aggravated at a V2 coming out soon after the V1 just came out, but it is what it is. And with the smaller makers or influencers now making their products, they're gonna make course corrections a lot more quicker than a bigger company would do that. So it's going to be kind of expected nowadays, I think.
I think how it's articulated matters too. I mean, so a good example is, and I hate to bring names into it, but Pan came out with V2s relatively quick, and it was like, this is the best stuff. But then he was very open about why he did the V2s. I got a lot of feedback, a lot of constructive feedback. We needed to change it, or a new whatever came out. But then there's been others, and I won't name their name, where they were like, hey, this is the new stuff. In the meantime, they were working on a new line or a new revamp in the background, knowing that this V2 is just a stopgap. But that's never, of course, they need to sell, and so they're not going to articulate that. But then later, in content that you see when they openly disclose that, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I wonder who that was. That guy must have been
offensive. It's a little offensive. Like, you just were grabbing money out of my
it leaves a very bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah,
completely.
And some, like,
very bad.
I don't know, like I know, for example, I know of a brand recently that came out with a new version or is coming out with a new version currently, and their old version hasn't been out very long. But it's like, well, they actually had to make a change in blenders because the blender they were working with couldn't deliver the quantities that they wanted. The quality control wasn't there. Like, there's actually like
that's fair.
And because of that,
Legitimate
they have to
reason.
do it as a new version because it is slightly different because of slightly different raws, slightly different manufacturer, slightly different process.
I think that's different.
Well, as long as it's communicated.
Correct.
We've run into situations before, and there's a brand that we all know of that consistently makes changes to their products, minor changes to their products, and they don't say that it's a new version. They just
Maguire's.
slightly update, slightly update, slightly update, slightly update. And
We never know which version we're getting.
Yeah, and there you run the risk of like, well, I could do a video. I could say that I love this product. I could show how great it works for me, how great of an experience that I have. Then you go and buy it. Your experience is completely different, and now I'm a liar.
Because it's a different version.
Actually different, and nobody knows it because there's no version.
They do the most V changes out of all companies. Probably have 10 different versions out on the market.
Who's that?
Yeah, that's also very frustrating. Like, you never know which version you're getting. And for me, version 1 or 2, V2, will come out for you guys. I still have V1 here, or I still have V2 here when it's V3, V4. That for me, that's hugely frustrating.
I think what most people get pissed about is this is V1, this is V2, and then they get aggravated that they had to like, oh shit, I want the newest and the best. Where I think most of the bigger companies now, what they do is they're like, oh, new and improved, and they maybe change a scent, in changing the scent, they just do an incremental increase in the product. But you're not saying this is V2 of XYZ. This is just a better version of what we already had. So that's what I think it is the calling it a version 2 is basically like telling the people, oh, this is a new 100% new product. It's way, way better. What you got is crap. And I know like people like Eddie always say, no, if you got the old stuff, it's still good. We just, improved upon what we've heard from you guys. That's all.
But there comes that fear of missing out again.
Right. And that's true. But at the same time, like, if you're not making like a whole line change, because that's what happens. We're not just changing one product. We're changing the whole freaking line. And now you got people like Jeff who's like, I got to buy the whole thing and retest the whole goddamn thing versus, oh, let me just get that one product that, got improved. You know what I mean? Because and I don't want to do this. I'm not trying to point out Eddie and Detail Co. and Jamie, but they didn't improve every single line. They only did a label change for every single thing. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff is still the same V1 that was originally there. So, I mean, you didn't need to go out and buy the whole Detail Co. line. You just got to change, get the ones that change, like, Nemesis, for example.
Yeah, Nemesis and Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I personally think that most brands probably shouldn't, if they're making like 5-10% increase in performance on each of their products, I personally wouldn't disclose that to the public. But for example, like when Pan switched his tire sealant from solvent based to water based, that's a big change. Then that kind of you do need to share that with your audience. But I mean, I think they should constantly do these revisions and not necessarily tell the people, but just keeping their product relevant.
Well, and I wonder if the local or the manufacturers and the companies that are stateside suffer our wrath more than the companies that are coming overseas, right? Because maybe Luminous, maybe GT, they're making as many revisions as the local companies, but we don't see them as quickly because it takes a while for that product to get here. So we don't have that frustration with some of the overseas companies.
Right.
Yeah, and Conway had a question about.
Here's the other side of that coin.
The opposite. So what about the companies that don't make changes, don't make updates, or they just take their time doing it? And
those you don't got to worry about because they're gonna fail.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
There's somebody that's going to replace them immediately, right? Somebody's always innovating. There's a new product out from somebody else that's going to take their spot.
you can almost say this about any one of the like major established, like what we think of as like the established brands, the old school brands. So Meguiar's, Griots,
Turtle Wax.
Carpro, Geon just redid the whole line, but they were pretty, like, they were going for a long time. I know G Technic is pretty good about doing versions, but they'll go and release, like, what was Grio's big thing at SEMA last year? It was, brushes, right? They, in general, their whole product line has been very similar for a long time. And I think that there are some old school people that actually like that. But yeah, I agree. It gets to like, well, the rest of the industry is innovating around you, and you're not keeping up in some ways. It can feel that way, at least for us.
There's still people that swear by Gold Class.
Yeah.
Going back to the
Corey said
announce...
CG just creates additional products and changes the name and keeps both of them.
Yeah.
Does Griots do revisions or versions? Maybe they are changing their stuff behind the scenes, right? And we don't know about it.
They manufacture on site, right? They do all their manufacturing facility or manufacturing, filling, and procurement there, right? So, good question.
All right, guys, we're getting up to that time frame. It's now 2 hours 10 minutes. I think we've bored these people long enough on this subject. Let's wrap it up. Any last words?
We've had a bunch of people that have stuck around for the whole thing, so just wanted to say thank you to everybody. That it's really cool that we get to do this on a weekly basis with a bunch of you guys watching. So.
As a thank you, Chris M is sponsoring a giveaway for us today. So if you comment your favorite Katiba product in the comment section, you'll be entered into a giveaway, and there's going to be 2 winners.
Thank you, Chris.
And thanks, congratulations to Sergio and Rick Smith on last week's win.
Yeah, and Greg, how do they know if they won a giveaway?
So they will be, I think Tuesday night we usually get together, and Fernando's kind enough to run the Wheel of Fortune.
Or misfortune, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whose channel you are commenting. Fernando does all the legwork, and he gets all of the comments in one big pool.
We take them all into consideration, so it doesn't matter where you're watching. So thank you.
Yeah, and one entry per person, right?
If you comment 3 times, Fernando looks at it and he deletes you from the pool altogether.
No. All duplicates are deleted.
Yeah. No, he only deletes. Yeah, he only deletes Corey's, because Corey's always throwing something about hydrosave in there. So, and Chelsea, don't forget to send an email to info@clearcoatconfessions.net and include your address. .net. Include your address, and I will get that information over to Chris post haste, and we will get.
And Greg, when is our next podcast?
Our next podcast, thanks, Vice, is next Thursday, which is going to be June 4th. But I want everybody to keep an eye out on the posts, because we have a possibility of getting a guest on, and due to their schedule, we may need to. They're pretty busy during the week, and we may need to move it to a different day. So just keep an eye out on the posts.
Just to
especially with the
accommodate
time changes,
some possibly with the time change or scheduling. So
either way, you should just show up anyways, because we're all cool anyways. You don't need a guest.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to be like girls trying to say, no, you hang up. Let's spend.
It's the Italian goodbye.
Yeah,
goodbye. All right. Well, listen, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. We had a great time. Good conversation and great participation by everybody in the chat. We really appreciate you guys, and have a good week.
Good game.
Yeah, good game, everybody.
High fives, everybody.
And let's go Vegas. One more cup. All right, everyone, take care.
Should I
We'll talk
remove
to you
him from
soon.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Listen to the
Stick
outro.
around for
Listen
Greg's
to the
message.
outro.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thanks for listening to Clearcoat Confessions. Just a quick reminder, the opinions and hot takes expressed by our guests today are entirely their own and don't necessarily reflect the views of the hosts. Detailing involves heavy tools and strong chemicals, so if you try any of the techniques or products we talked about today, you do so at your own risk.